Who needs an intro when we have Eric O'Sullivan, the Reverend Sully, here to help? How you doing, Eric?
Wicked pissa and getting better by the minute. Happy Friday from the United States of America to you in the land of the rising sun and your rising sun.
Yes, and happy Saturday morning here. It's freezing cold. We had snow like you did yesterday. There's snow everywhere, Eric. It's not too crazy though. Oh, now you're making me jealous.
Well, it's in the evening for me. It's morning for you.
I know it's good. I've got a cup of Black Joe.
We've got matching kind of beverages. And this is how you pour the Guinness with the nitro can.
This is how you start a stream, ladies and gentlemen, with a Guinness and a coffee, or a Gaelic coffee. It could be.
Ooh, we call it the Irish coffee here. We have the black coffee with the Jamesons in it. A nice 2 to 3 fingers of the Jamesons in the black coffee.
How much does that cost? £3.33.
£3.33. Oh, how many you would that be? Oh, I don't know anything. I had to watch me mouth for the first 5 minutes.
So we get cancelled for for not being Irish. But anyway, Eric, it's not been a while because I see you on Bandito Bane stream. I used to see you on Thinking Critical, but as you know, it's too late for me. That it starts at midnight my time.
We were all asking about you in the green room a couple of weeks ago, and he was like, he's like an hour ahead of me. He lost a whole hour, so it's quite impossible for you. So when the time goes back, your availability gets better.
Yeah, it's like Japanese time. I mean, this is just a whinge, but it starts at midnight now in winter, midnight, and it finishes at 2:30 a.m. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about it before we went live. Like, we're getting old, aren't we? We're getting on a bit. We need our sleep.
I love sleep. Oh, that's
I love sleep. Hey, we've got Zax in the chat. Zax, how are you doing, man?
Hey.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hey, Zax, how are you?
It's an early start for Gray, I know. I thought I'd surprise you all. I'm competing with Friday Night Tights because, come on, this is where you'd rather be.
Dude, who do you want? Bloody pronouns! He's on tonight, yeah. Because Gary can't make it because Gary had a death in the family, so...
that's really sad,
God bless you.
Sorry to hear that.
To Gary, be clear in your family. You know what I mean? Condolences. And we'll see you on the other... We'll see you next week, of course. It's a double
handful of Hanson.
It's a double whammy of hammy.
So again, the show for people who are watching the replay, and thanks for watching on the replay, you are awesome. We're just going to be talking comics. I'm going to get some of Eric's picks from recently and also from last year. Maybe he could shout out some of his recommendations because, hey, who wants to hear from me all the time?
I have my surprise hit of 2024.
Good.
That I picked up last week, and it's because but we'll get to that when it's time to get to that. I mean, because I don't want to who's Davina Duckworth? Hello there.
Hey, Davina, great to see you. I see her in the film threat chat quite a lot.
Oh, hey there.
So awesome.
Happy birthday to Film Threat. I mean, Chris Gore, way to go. 40 years of consistency. I don't know if you can see it back there, but I got a Film Threat sticker back there. I love Film Threat. I picked up Attack of the Dock, and I got it signed. I got the Blu-ray. And you can watch it for free on YouTube. I don't care. I'm a physical media guy, and I got Chris Gore's autograph.
It's a great channel. I love when Chris and Alan are on together. Mm-hmm. They've got a really good rapport, haven't they? It's a nice dynamic between them.
They have great guests. I mean, their Justine Bateman interview was so enlightening, and that's the kind of conversations that I love being part of and being witness to in our very own YouTube community. I love it. I really do.
Me too. Absolutely love it. Let's just drop a random clip. Here we go, Eric. We're going to summon up some people watching and summon up some positivity. Here's Merlin with a spell.
Yeah, Uther Pendragon calling the mists. Gonna get some of that tail.
Excalibur, mate. It's still my favourite King Arthur movie back in 1980.
If a boy shall be king, then I will follow the boy. Patrick Stewart.
Earl Grey, hot. Oh, sorry, wrong show.
Number 1, you smell like number 2. Engage. Make it so, Mr. Wolf. There appears to be a love on your forehead. There are 4 lights.
You do a good Patrick Stewart. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I actually have a bit of the mimicry in me. And how he got there, I don't know. It must have been a slip to Mickey in me drink or something. But yeah, I'm good with voices. I do voices. And yeah.
I've got to say, I love it when Eric does his Cockney accent, talking like this, Mary Poppins.
Step into my dodgy accent there.
But anyway, being serious for a minute, I think Davina found my channel through, I did a live stream about David Lynch, how much, I love his films after he passed away, just talking about that. So, yeah, it was great that she somehow stumbled upon the channel, because normally I just talk about nonsense like comics, Eric. Like you.
Well, I love the thing about David Lynch, and I know there's one part of being offered Revenge of the Jedi by George Lucas and declining it.
Amazing, right?
But the thing was, he got a 3-film deal from Dino De Laurentiis and his production company. So he did Dune was that first movie. The second movie, and that was
Blue Velvet.
Blue Velvet, yeah, exactly.
Surprisingly,
oh,
yeah. No one, people forget that because I think he took his name off Dune, didn't he? Or he wanted to because it was cut to death by the studio.
Well, he took his name off the Japanese. What is the Japanese version of the television version, and he had also adapted the screenplay. So it says directed by Alan Smithy and screenplay by Judas Booth. You know what I mean? Two of the big portrayers. Yeah. And but David Lynch was just charming on his own. I used to watch him on YouTube daily. Today's daily number is 6. The weather, and he'd do the weather report. He just stick his head out.
I love
weather. It's cloudy, 70 degrees, and that's it. It was like this. Like it wasn't even a short. It was just like David just doing like.
Just David being David. What a genius. Okay, Eric, we've got Morning Haze in the chat. Hello, hello. Good morning from Japan and good evening from the States.
I know your brother, Purple. Purple Haze!
I don't have a hi-hat, sorry. Davina was saying, actually, it was Brian, that 70s rock fan who shouted out the channel. Okay, nice one.
Good. And I think we've got...
Absolutely, Miss Money Penny. That's my best attempt at a Scottish accent. Bandito's here, Eric.
Hello.
What's up, guys? On my way to pick up the books that fell off the back of a truck. Anyway, see you tomorrow, Sully.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and everyone in between in the grand spectrum of humanity, check out Bandito Bane's channel. He's a growing channel, and he makes content. And so we grow together. And he's doing a show tomorrow night, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. And show up and support the channel and smash that like button, turn on those notifications, and give Bandito Bane a follow if you could be so kind. Sweet.
I was just watching Twin Peaks, says Davina. Oh, I've been watching it. I've been watching The Return over the last few weeks.
I'm jealous. I need to just pick it up. I just got to get the pack of the entire thing, the movie, the old show. I just watched the old show a couple of years ago over lockdown. And it was so funny. I hadn't seen it in its entirety because it's so kind of cheesy and bad on purpose.
It still holds up. It's meant to be, isn't it? The cheesy parts are meant to be. It was kind of like taking the Mickey out of soap operas, but also beating them at their own game.
Yeah, and there was a parallel. It was always a parallel story to like the soap opera that's going on in the background. That's always on the TV. What was the name of that?
Yeah.
But that was made up for it too. That was just great.
Well, here's some advice, Eric. Here's some advice. Very, very brief advice from Gordon himself.
To fix their hearts or die.
We got to fix their hearts or die. That's it. Simple as that. There we go.
I love Miguel Ferreira in there, man. He's just the best. I love you. I'm a pastor.
Did you know Twin Peaks was originally meant to be called Northwest Passage?
Indeed. Wow. I wonder if the CBS show that was like, what was that one with? It was he was a doctor and he was from the big city and he was paid. This little town in Alaska paid his tuition, but it was like indentured servitude, so he had to go to this little town in Alaska to be their town doctor for a certain amount of time, and that was part of his deal. And the hijinks and the quirkiness. What was it? Northern Exposure was the name.
Northern Exposure. I remember that. Yeah, we even had that in the old England, where we had like 3 channels back in the day. Yeah. Anyway, Brian is awesome, Zax. I know that 70s rock fan is cool.
Indeed.
The Twin Peaks Blu-rays are amazing. I've got them as well. The original series. I don't have the return yet. We were just talking about that.
One of my best friends in the 90s had them all on Laserdisc. The giant Laserdiscs.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
The return was very painful. I understand, Davina. When I first started watching it, I kind of like, oh my God, what is going on? But I've reassessed my opinion of it. I think it's absolute genius.
Mm-hmm.
I've almost finished it now, my second watch. But I think people came to that thinking they were going to get Twin Peaks again, Eric, the original one. They thought it was just going to be more of the same, and it's like, so...
Maybe answers...
It's incredible.
It's got a little bit purpler and prettier in here. I'm going to tell you that much. Oh, hello there, you. Hi, Mo. Good to see you. Hey, Mo.
Yeah, and Mo's here as well. That's awesome.
Thank you for showing up.
Great to see everybody. In some ways, time is the most brutal villain of all.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about it. This is a mask, by the way. I'm actually 95 years old. This is a mask.
It's a filter. It's a TikTok thingy. Hey, Joseph Wolf, how are you going?
Good to see you. Great to see you. Okay. Well, as Eric has a cheers and a toast to everybody who's watching, I hope you're going to have, or you are having, like me, a fantastic weekend. As I say, I hope you're not snowed in like we are. But anyway, Eric, let's get on to some comic book news, shall we? And everybody leaves now. Start talking comics.
Indeed.
What are you What's on? Okay, let's do a random spinner rack pick. Here we go. First of all, I'm so jealous. I wish I could get a spinner rack in Japan, but I can't.
Man,
anyway.
This cost $175 retail on Amazon, but it's not the usual. It's not the real deal. It's got 16 bins. And the real one usually has Pikachu. Thank you.
They're awesome. Nice one, Mo. Thanks for shouting those out. Okay.
Here's some Bronze Age loving. Here's the Brave and the Bold issue. Wow. 142. This has got to be from 1978.
35 cents.
You can tell from the price because DC jumps from 25 cents in 1976 to 35 cents in the late 70s, and then they go to 50 cents. So they go up 15 whole cents.
Wow.
And you can tell that this is a newsstand copy because it has the UPC scan code on there. Now, if it had the picture of like Spider-Man's face or the DC kind of like the DC universe, the DC would actually use it for like ad space, pimping their own stuff. But this is the indicia. Every comic book has that. So yeah, see, this has a cover of August 1978. So this would have been out. This would have been out about April.
I was 5 years old back then, Eric, in 1978. Little grey, all innocent and pure.
Just getting me, But
1970s stagflation. Yeah, you're right there.
Jim Aparo art. Jim Aparo does all the interiors and does the.
I loved his art. I love his art still. Fantastic.
This style guide. Look, everything is so consistent. That's
an awesome cover, Eric, isn't it? That's a really nice cover.
This is a really nice cover, and I got this diving in the back bins. I don't like spending much money on. I think I spent $7 on this. Yeah, that's
Mo says he wasn't even born yet. Yeah, well, we are aged. Should we say aged like a fine wine?
Talking about nice covers, though. Check out this cover here. Another Bronze Age baby. This is got to be a 1980 DC comic, but this is DC Comic Presents, which is like that's the Superman team up book because you
Superman
have
and Shazam.
Yeah, and but their powers and their costumes are switched. So that's Superman in Captain Marvel's outfit, and there's Billy Batson in the Superman outfit. Isn't that cool? And that all happens in the book too.
I love the public like pointing fingers out there.
Look, what are you doing?
Fantastic.
Yeah, so this is great. That was another $7 book. Yeah.
So Eric, where do you pick up your back issues from? Do you have to go online, or are you like scoping out at old comic shops, LCSs?
Yeah, the LCS, the local comic book shop. I like to go if you got a few minutes. I like to go diving through reader copies because it's like I don't know. I like to accumulate books. The spinner rack is for nostalgia. This thing's like really populated with a lot of of Marvel books from fall of 1981 because I'm in love with. I was 8 years old buying these books, and these are the Jim Shooter's contest: win a Columbia 10-speed racer, and for 4 months in 1981.
Rom, no way! I never used to read that, but I remember it. I remember the title.
It's such a good superhero book, and I've got just so many of them.
Oh, we got a Star Wars there. Which one's that?
This is issue 53. This is some Walt Simonson art. This is a Mike Zeck cover here for Captain America. You know what I mean? Just like,
love Mike Zeck. I remember him from Craven's Last Hunt. The covers.
But yeah, I mean, like when a Formula, the Columbia bike heads are just like.
Eric, we've got Davina saying the ads in the comics are amusing too. Yes, I love it when they reprint. I'm going to talk about facsimiles now. When they reprint the original ads as well. But when you go back and you see those ads, oh man, it takes me back to my childhood and wishing I was living in America.
This is the prize of my collection. I bought this for like $10 in 2022 at a con because Klaus Janson was there. And I was like, and I lucked into this because I bought this for 50 cents when I was 8 years old in the summer of 1981.
Wow.
Right before that banner ad goes up there. So literally like the next issue has that. You know what I mean? And this is Frank. This is a Frank Miller cover. This is
look at that.
Yeah, this is Peak Electra. This is 176. This is 175. I read this until the cover came off. And so I got this specifically because I knew that Frank Miller was also coming to Fan Expo in August. So in April of 2022, I had Klaus sign this at the Wicked Boston Comic Con. Then months later, just all I had was this in my hands, and Frank smiled. And Frank was nice to me. And he gave me a little story. I talked to him for like about a minute. And he was like, I knew exactly where I was when I drew this book and this cover. I mean, Marvel had given me this paper that was so crappy it would smudge. And I was like, I had this portable like little desk with me to like, this little drawing tablet with me on the Bristol, and just I was in the backseat of a car trying to get this out and meet my deadline. And it was like I heard he was a grump, and it was like he liked me. That was cool. And like on the way out, I was like, "Oh, by the way, Frank, you got any more Dark Knight Returns books coming out? I love the Golden Child." And he was like, he gave me kind of that Superman wink. You know what I mean? He was like, kind of like shrugged his shoulders, like, "We'll see." That was
that's
fun.
Nice.
Yeah. But yeah, it's nice to have a spinner rack. Oh, it is. You should invest in one because it's great. You know what I mean? Just because it's like Robert Meyer Burnett says, the answer is always yes.
Really? Oh my!
When you see something like that, it's just like there is like like you want it. You know what I mean? You can make it happen. You can afford it. You can budget it. You can justify it because this is a joy to have. This really is.
Absolutely. Okay, that's awesome. Well, as a random issue that I'm reading at the moment, Eric, and there's a little bit of a build up to this. Me and Jim, Widsands Comics, we just started to review Volume 2 of The Invisibles, the bloody hell in America, when Grant Morrison started to kind of reinvent it because I think it wasn't selling very well, was it?
We meet Jolly Roger and Mason.
Jolly Roger.
The American Invisible Team. Hey, Fair Monarch, good to see you. We got Monkey Jeebus out there, too. Good to see you. And look at
yes, it is. Good to shout out the chat. Fantastic to see. Yeah, Monkey Jeebus popped in. We've also Mo's still here. Fair Monarch's down there. Damn, I've never seen Grey in the light of day.
Woo! Now
he's
he's not a vampire. No.
It's 7:19 a.m. in the morning on Saturday here in Japan. It's freezing cold and snowing. You can order one online. Okay, I'll try and do that. I'll look into it.
Go to Amazon Japan. It's like mine was like this is the reasonable one. The one with like the that's closer, that has the Hey Kids comics thing on top of it. This doesn't. So this one was this was the discount one. But you know what? It's still a spinner rack. It still works. It looks great. Does the job. I'm very pleased.
What do I have here? This is what I'm reading at the moment, Eric. This random issue.
Ooh,
let's have a look.
Look at that Brian Bolland art. Look at that cover.
Look at that, sat on the toilet. What a great cover. It's actually
boy.
August 97, so I think it must be volume 2, number 7. Is that right?
Yeah, because it goes like what, 20. Oh, it's so weird the way
There's 25 issues in volume 1 because we just finished reviewing that.
And there's 25 issues.
They took a bit of a break. They took about a 6 months break before volume 2 started.
Yeah, and then volume 3 goes in a countdown from issue 12 or 10 because it's a shorter run.
Yeah, and it counts down from 12 to 10.
Yeah, but now we get all these Brian Bolland covers. Whoa,
Here's the ad on the back of the comics to give you an idea of when it came out.
97.
Batman and Robin. So it's campy, it's crazy, it's cheesy. It could actually be fun if you watch that.
Yeah, no, you got to have a big heart to accept. I mean, that coming off of Batman Forever, which I liked, that was my favorite Batman movie for a while. I really liked Val Kilmer.
I loved it at the time, but I was young and stupid.
Right?
There's an advertisement for Transmetropolitan.
Oh gosh, on Helix. Now Helix was another imprint for sci-fi books that they got quickly swallowed up by Vertigo. So there's like 2 issues of, I think like 1 or 2 issues of Transmet that are Helix.
Okay.
And, yeah.
Advert for Mimic, the movie. Remember that? Wow.
Yeah, when they had actual adverts.
Adverts, darling. Absolutely. Oh, and a letters page at the back. They still had the letters page.
And he answers them. These volumes 1 and 2 I read all these in floppy. These are great.
Me too.
So Grant
love the letters.
all these letters for volumes 1 and 2. And they got rid of the letters page for volume 3. I always noticed that, like, oh, what a bummer.
And apparently he was not happy about that. He was trying to get them put back in, but they were just saying, money, money, money. You know, we have to put more commercials in.
Yeah, I get it, you know.
The back credit card. Yes, indeed, Philharmonic. I remember that.
Yeah,
you're right. Bolland's art is masterpiece.
Yeah, volume 1 had all that Sean Phillips art. And volumes 2 and 3 are strictly Bolland. And that's, oh gosh, those are so good.
Well, as you know, we've been covering Animal Man as well, Morrison's Animal Man, and that's the Bolland covers. They are unbelievable. They are so good.
Yes, they are. And just the Chaz Troag, Doug Hazelwood inks in every issue of that. They're so expressive. So I love the faces. I love Buddy's face. I love Ellen's face in her, you know what I mean? In her micro expressions. They're all in Cliff's face. I mean, Maxine, like there's a lot.
I love Cliff's mullet.
I love Cliff's mullet.
So good.
It was great because like Jim hasn't read this. He might have just finished. He's finishing it up. So like I was talking to him. I was like, "Hey, what'd you get up to on this? Because I don't want to spoil anything for you." And he was like,
"We've just done 21, so I don't know. Did he finish it, Jim? I don't know if he read it originally or not.
He hasn't originally. No, so he's This is new to him. So I'm so psyched for him because this is a gut punch, and then you get into like some real Morrisonian weirdness, especially with Limbo. This is some of my favorite stuff. Is Second Crisis and Limbo and Merry Man.
Limbo, fantastic.
He comes back to this in Final Crisis, Superman Beyond 3D. It's just it's a good time to be a Morrison DC fan.
So, Eric, do you recommend Transmetropolitan? Because I'm the same with Divina. Believe it or not, I've never read it, despite all the good reviews.
66 floppies of goodness. Darick Robertson art. It's grotesque. It's impossible. It's Warren Ellis at his best, being the futurist. And hello, Nerdporial. Good to see you out there, brother. Transmet is just because it's Warren Ellis, and most people think it's kind of like Spider Jerusalem is like Hunter S. Thompson, which got some truthiness to it, but it's more of the good old self-insert. And the filthy assistants, his female accomplices, the Amazonian statuesque, and then the petite one, and it's political. I usually read it every 4 years. It's been a while.
It's that good, is it? No way. I know it's kind of famous, but there's something about Warren Ellis at the time. I just didn't get into his writing. I think I tried the first couple of issues, but I just didn't continue. No idea why.
I'm a huge Warren Ellis fan.
What do I know?
I could always suggest a thing or two. Yeah, he's got the goods. Like, it was the second British invasion, I think, and around that time with Ellis and Morrison and Miller. There's good shit.
Animal Man 26 is an absolute gut punch. It's awesome, Fiumara. I still remember it. I've not reread it since I was young, so yeah, I can't wait to get to that. We just done 21, Eric, and we're taking a break to do some Invisibles, so we've got 22 to 26. We're going to do the last 5 altogether. Can't wait.
Oh, my favorite buddy revenge kill was just bringing the guy underwater and then watching him. That was. You're right. This thing is. I watched your show the other day, and it's just that was just my that's so buddy cold man. That was so wow.
Jim's favorite was the golf course one, where the guy gets the hole in one, and then his hand comes up. This clawed hand, this Animal Man. He just pulls him into the ground. Yeah. Unbelievable. Down amongst the dead men. Fantastic.
Man.
Okay. Wow, this is awesome. Look at this. It's so good to see everybody. It's the Eric O'Sullivan Sully magic.
Gray asked me a question, and it was kind of weird. Not weird. It's actually a common question, but it's more of like, I'm flummoxed for an answer because I talk comic books every week, all the time. And so I read so many bloody books, man. I read, sometimes I read 15 Marvel books a week. And
that's dedication, Eric. You read them all, don't you?
Well, because I'm just in a circuit with the reviewers.
You can get review copies. Yeah, that's awesome.
And it's like I hear that Jim's been reading them to Wes on their Patreon show. Because Jim and I literally have polarically opposite views of some books. And it's always fun, but it's fun because it's great because we both come at it critically and we both listen to each other about why we like things and why we dislike things. It's like, I am like, me in Ultimate X-Men. And he's like, oh man, I love this book. And it's just, this is great stuff. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I know it is, but for me, it's like, there's just something, boom, off on it. And it's the book I love to hate. Mobius and Jodorowsky's Inkle series is recommended. I got final Inkle,
in that.
And so I need to pick up just the regular Inkle too. But I got Meta Barons, which is amazing. Oh gosh, those
So
those books, those European books. European. Well, so Gray asked me what was my favorite comics of 2024.
Yes, and, that's it. Something to shout out that people might not have heard of, maybe.
Right. I got a little flummoxed because I feel like I'm so repetitive. My favorite books of this year were my favorite books of the year before that, which are The Usual Suspects, Sacrificers, Local Man, which just finished up. That was by Tim Seeley and Tony Fleecs, set in the Image universe. Really fun stuff. Energon universe stuff, like Transformers. It's a flawless book. It's every issue is a gift. The new G.I. Joe book, G.I. Joe: A Real American Hero by Larry Hama.
You've got me to start reading that, by the way, since since they not relaunched it, but since they continued it, from 301.
Let me do the meme. It's the Skybound box set.
I don't have the clip. Like, look at the size of that thing. I wish I had the clip. Jesus, it's huge.
It's blowing up from the inside. Oh boy, and but like Green Lantern, Superman, Incredible Hulk, it's just like I don't really. There wasn't really many new books in 2024 besides Rook Exodus by Jeff Johns. I mean,
oh come on, the Ghost Machine books.
Like Geiger's good.
You're not a fan of Geiger, Eric?
No, I'm not buying it though. I mean, the proof of the pudding for me is on the plate. What am I picking up? But I can't buy everything. That's the thing. I just don't have the space or money for it. So I have, what's my choice? I'm gonna get Rook Exodus. That's on hiatus right now, though. So, but Redcoat's fun. It's I like Geiger better. I like Rook Exodus the best.
The best. I'm the same. I'm that order too. Yeah. Rook Exodus, Geiger, and then Redcoat.
But my pick for the best book of 2024.
Here we go.
Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees by Patrick Horvath. And this is from IDW, and it's a publisher that's currently in trouble. Now, and they have a lot of licensed stuff. This is 6 issues. This is the trade paperback. And I never really buy trade paperbacks.
Same.
But I missed a few of these issues, and I read most of them on the reviewer copies I get. So I got the trade paperback because I just really wanted it. And I don't lend out floppies, but I'm going to lend this out. You know what I mean? If I don't get it back, I don't get it back. That's happened before. But I'm not lending floppies out. I don't do that. You do that? Who lends their floppies out? No. But a trade paperback, that's
never.
That's safe to do. Look, the family's shown at full spot. Let's see. Right. It's midnight in England.
Oh, it's Mick. How you doing? Sorry, man. I'll do something on the screen. It's Mick C saying, heading for midnight here. I'm falling asleep. You crazy kids, have fun. We'll watch the rest later. Good night. Auf Wiedersehen.
But the art in this, it's so wonderful. It's here's some art.
Share a floppy with a friend. Just let me make you full screen. There we go.
I love the panels. I love the art. I love the color choices. I love. It's kind of this is. You remember Richard Scarry?
Richard Scarry.
Yeah, he did these like anthropomorphic animals, and bib overalls and flannel shirts and riding trucks and going to the store and like. So this place is a lot like a Richard Scarry, place to live. But the thing is, we've got we're introduced to our protagonist. She owns a hardware store. She's liked by her community and by her neighbors. And she's got a very, very dark secret.
Dark secret. No major spoilers, Eric. I'll try not to spoil it as well.
Because that's the inciting incident in the story. Because
I know.
Should I show the art?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the art is awesome.
Because it shows that on the cover. That's the cover. What is she doing? Where is she going? She's beneath the trees where nobody sees.
But we see.
Yeah, we know what's going on there. And
speaking of covers, do you know Riley Rossmo did some actually very good covers, variant covers for that series?
Really? Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
I like his art. I'm not one of those. I'm not gonna. The Robin series, Tim Drake Robin, the writing by Megan Fitzmartin kind of just brought his art down, but also that it was a little. He got really cartoony there. Like, if you haven't read his Rasputin...
No.
No, that's pretty
good.
Cool. Oh, yeah, because it's an indie thing. And it's so you can see him at his best. And then I think that his Robert Vendetti's Wesley Dodds, The Sandman. I loved that book. It was a good story.
The art was good in that.
The art was really good. It complemented his tone. I just thought there was... reduced the art quality a bit was the digital coloring and the digital effects, like especially screen tone and zipatone filters. And it just, I mean, I would love to see a noir version of that. Just inks, you know what I mean? That I love that kind of style of art.
I mean, this is just coincidence, but like just to do a bit of self-promotion, I dropped this on my. I've got a little blog where I do reviews. Doesn't get much traffic, but I'm doing like my picks from last year, like best comics 2024. Here we go, beneath the trees where nobody sees.
Mm-hmm. The dark and creepy 6-issue series,
mini-series, yeah. Patrick
from
Horvath,
artist and writer Patrick Horvath.
It was recommended by a couple of comic book buddies. This is what's so cool. One of the great things about YouTube, like the comic scene on YouTube, is people recommending, things that I wouldn't have heard of this otherwise.
Exactly.
So cool.
And so this was just part of the, just the community that we're in, and
Anyway,
just getting the access that we have, and just how blessed and grateful I am. I read so many comics every week, and it's. Oof.
Well, Mo,
sometimes
thanks for watching, Mo. If you're tuning in, you have a great night, and thanks so much for tuning in. That's brilliant.
Yeah, a truly international show going on right now. We've got Gray in Japan. We got Sully in Boston, Massachusetts. We've got Mo coming from us in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia.
Oh, that's awesome.
We've got Mick Cope over there in England.
You're in Germany, actually. He's in Deutschland.
In Germany. Oh,
Über
sorry.
alles. Yeah.
Didn't mean to presume.
That's all right. How crazy is that? My poor mum and dad, who, by the way, they're not around anymore, but their two sons disappeared across the world. One went to Europe and one went to Japan via Australia.
No, I haven't. Have any
Feral.
of you read Feral by Tony Fleecs?
Yes,
Feral.
yes.
No,
Feral.
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 Yeah, it's about it's about a couple of cats that
It's the cat story, isn't it? The cats. Yes.
Yeah, and I thought you were talking about like the Feral Dalrymple. He's an artist.
Ooh.
I was like, Feral Dalrymple and Tony Fleecs did the book? What? We are international comics fans. Mo sent me some screenshots of a couple of things he owns. Some Arabic language version, the Arabic editions of pictures of Killing Joke and Watchmen, because he was saying like he was giving me some examples of like cultural, localizing, I guess, if to put it in the word, but the lettering is all in Arabic, and it's just I'm just wondering, hey, is that like hand done and like, and then like, but like, Dr. Manhattan, big, like being the giant and striding over the armies, and he's got and some underwear put on him. You know what I mean? So we don't see his big blue dong. My brother.
You can't say dong on the internet. Yeah, straight was it. This is about Feral. Thanks, Davina. The Walking Dead meets the Aristocats in this new horror graphic novel from the creative team behind Stray Dogs. Yeah, I did read
the Aristocats.
Stray Dogs.
That's what it's got, that animated view. It's got it looks like it's like a Don Bluth movie. You know what I mean?
Yes, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah,
but it's like a dark story with good character writing. Hi there, the Guild Command returns. He's here.
Eric and I are hanging out on President's Day. He is like, dude, this guy got a little ripped. He's on his way to being like Arnold Schwarzenegger level, but he goes to a gym and he's like, no, I want you to. I'm treating, and he's like, I'm dragging you to the gym, and you're gonna do it. And I'm like, okay, put my money where my mouth is. I'm gonna hang out with my friend, and we're gonna just hang out, and he's taking me to his gym, and we're gonna take a class, and hopefully. This is going to bite me with the gym bug, and maybe I'll start going to the gym. He's going to, you know what? Grady's going to get some coffee. And while he gets some coffee, we're going to tell you that we are brought to you by Pikachu, my electric executive producer. And we're going to say hi to Nosferatu, the vampire out there. Hello. And yes, you may come in. Do you have no, you're the Klaus Kinski Nosferatu, so you don't have a mustache like the Skarsgård brother. Yes, I've never seen.
Eric, I'm glad I can still surprise Nosferatu occasionally. He's like, what are you doing, Gray? This is early for you, streaming. How you doing, man? Good to see you. And I love the Klaus Kinski Nosferatu.
I've never seen that version. I got to just pick it up.
It's on YouTube. It's on YouTube, Eric, for free, I think.
I'm just a physical media junkie, and I love having vampire movies, and I'm a huge vampire movie fan. I got on the Solid Blue, Big Gigi's. Yes!
This is definitely a Grey stream, absolutely. We also have Ryo jumping in. Good evening and good morning from Japan. Ohio gozaimasu. Genki desu ka, Eric? Oh, he's going for it. He's going.
Just like in Evangelion when Katsuragi-san would just like.
I don't have Evangelion. The closest thing I've got, and it's a bit random, but it's this one. Here we go.
I know what he wants. He wants my bike.
Give me back my bike, man.
Yes.
Led the right one in, says Davina.
Man.
Sully's going to show up one morning stream. He's just going to get jacked and no one will recognize him, says
right.
Fiumara.
I'm going to turn this blubber into something else. No, just like, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
The Comic Relief Crusaders here. Yo, dudes.
Wow, we've got Jaggeron 2 out there who just showed up, and we've got 32 flavors and Nick Weiser. Oh my goodness!
Nick Miser, how you doing, man? Yes, it's a rare early stream from Grey. I think we're normally on at the same time, so we don't see each other. I hope you're good. I hope you're Genki. I'm miles behind on the chat here, Eric. Oh my god, because I went to grab some more coffee. This is amazing. Holy crap, is this a Grey and Sully double comic explosion of awesome? Where are we? I can't find it fast enough. That's enough of that, anyway.
Comic Relief Crusader, good to see you too. Nice early stream.
I know. I'm normally on at like, what time is it? 11 at night stateside, normally. Okay, where were we, Eric? God, I'm all over the place. I do have something to recommend. I've got a comic recommendation which you might not have heard of.
I've got the opposite. I'm going to tell you something I'm putting down.
Let me share my screen. Here we go. Is that showing up okay?
Fred Van Lente?
Yes, Fred Van Lente, Murder Kingdom from Mad Cave. It's just come out. We were talking about Stray Dogs and Feral. It's a little bit of a similar style. It's kind of like, Disney cartoony kind of artwork, but it's got a really compelling story. It's weird. It's something different. Murder Kingdom. Come on. Where are we? Back to you.
Indeed.
What to call it? Let's see, the series info. Here we go.
Who's doing the art?
I'm trying to find it. 1 second. The problem with trying to share global comics.
Global comics. Okay, I've never seen this interface before. This is global comics. This is a digital media reader. It's
basically the original people who did Comixology. It's what they're doing now.
Oh, okay. Because I know that Irene Strakalski has an agreement with Global Comics, and she does her crowdfunded Fiendish, which is, I think, amazing.
Oh, yeah.
She got great art. I love her sense of style, man.
Let's get back to it. This is pretty good. I got like a special offer for a year subscription. It does have some DC, but it's mainly like Dark Horse, Image, Boom, Mad Cave, Oni Press. It's a lot of small press. There's a lot of like independent stuff on here as well. You can get, there's a lot of free stuff. You don't have to, pay for it. You can get free stuff as well. So, recommended.
Oh, wow.
Hello. Anyway, I'm trying to find the thing, but I can't find it. I can't find the synopsis for, what do you call it, Eric?
For the individual issue?
Murder Kingdom. Let's have a look. Here we go. I think my internet. It could be the weather because we've got crazy snowstorms at the moment. Mm-hmm. Once upon a time in a strange land called Florida, a masked psycho starts murdering cast members of the Storybook Kingdom theme park in ways identical to the gory original Grimm's fairy tales. Ooh. Princess-turned-detective Tanith is the only person who can unmask the killer before she and her friends are all dying unhappily never after. There we go, that's it. Tomb-themed terror from six-time New York bestselling writer Fred Van Lente, artist Chris Panda, and letterer Becky Carey.
Oh, cool. I'd love to say hello to Tevye Smolka out there who just joined us. And also Jagron 2, who, a.k.a. it's Lane Kramer.
What was he saying? We need a different series from Marvel. One World Under Dark.
That's right.
Sorceress Supreme.
He likes to torment Doc by making Patreon donations at Wes's Thinking Critical, and then saying like, okay, Doc has to read this book. Cannoli Sasquatch, hello!
Great to see you, man. He's always looking for some good comic book recommendations. Well, you came to the right place.
Yeah, I mean, I have an anti-recommendation. I have something I think I'm taking off my pull list. I'm taking Absolute Superman off my pull list. I'm so bored with this book.
What's happened? Why? I thought it was meant to be a good issue, the latest one.
Kind of, it's lame. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, there's plenty of action in this. It's got decent art. It's got decent.
The art got better, Eric, because there was some problem with it, whether it was the printing or the coloring. Like issue 2, it looked really weird.
It's I think it's digital coloring. It's like coloring is like, but it's a big thing about mood. But okay, issue 4, I think it's a 5-issue arc, like the all are.
Sure. Yeah. So.
First page. This is like the opening of Act 3, and the first thing that we get, we're hit in the face with, we can't even call it a Dave Gibbons, Alan Moore 9-panel
Reminds
grid
me of
anymore.
a Tom King one.
Reminds me of Tom King. Exactly.
Yes,
Thank you.
yes.
My first place my mind went was Tom King, and it's just, then we have over tough Lois Lane. We got our introduction to Jimmy Olsen.
Fight anybody and beat them too.
Yeah, we got Jimmy Olsen. At least he's a redhead. He's still a ginger, at least. And the panels are okay. Look at the panel progression on this page. That's decent. You know what I mean? So it's not a bad book. I'm just bored with it. It shouldn't be this boring, but it is a Jason Aaron book, and he can, Jason Aaron's a bit hit or miss. Jason Aaron's a lot like for me Jonathan Hickman. You know what I mean? You know what you're gonna get, and the chances are you could get something that's good, but it's not very satisfying. That's just my humble opinion.
No, Jogan was asking, have we read it and what did you think? So thanks for that. Thanks for answering. There we go. Yeah, I know Jim, Weird Science Jim, to shout him out. His review will be going live in about an hour and a half or so.
Of Absolute Superman 4?
Yeah, they started doing live reviews when the Absolute issues come out on the Friday. Cool. I think it's around 7:15 p.m. maybe.
But it's a floppy, so check out the ad on the back. We've got Puppy Bowl 21, and that's because the Super Bowl is this weekend. So this is primo ad space about ad space. Ain't that funny?
Fiumara saying Absolute Superman was off my pull list before the end of the first issue. Eyes glazed over.
No, this is what I'm talking about. I gave it a chance. Again, we got 3 Absolute books to choose from. I want to give one of them a chance. I want to buy comics. I want to give books chances. And I think the better chance, I would have been more satisfied with either Wonder Woman or Batman, artistically too. I don't mind Heyman Sherman's art in Absolute Wonder Woman at all. It's just a Kelly Thompson story. So it's got that same probability that this could suck. But Absolute Batman, the Dragotta art on that is just pops, man.
It's awesome. It's worth buying just for the art when he's on it. I've got a question for you, Sully, from Nosferatu.
Yes,
what did you think of the Darkness and the Fables comics, and can you bully Gray into reading them?
Never read the Darkness. I wasn't into Top Cow and Silvestri. I wasn't even into Silvestri during those X-Men years. I was on hiatus. I've been reading X-Men so long. We take breaks. It's called sabbaticals, and it's good for you. But Fables, I read once, and they were really good. But I mean, I look at it now in hindsight. It's kind of like that's like Sopranos stuff. It's a lot of talking, talk. It's a lot of talking in hallways and shit. But it's beautiful, and it's got it's a really interesting interpretation of fairy tales. And it's just like, it literally is fairy tales for grown-ups. So, and then you have the whole thing of like where it's gone as a periodical. And it's just wrapping up now after such a long break too. Then the notoriety with its creators. You know what I mean?
I haven't read it. I'm the same as you. I haven't read much Top Cow, The Darkness. Mm-hmm. I read the Christmas special recently, which was quite interesting. It had three short stories with some of the characters, which I don't know. Like Witchblade was one of them.
I wasn't into Witchblade either, man. I mean, I came back into Image books late, about 2001, and so I had to catch up on Stormwatch because Warren Ellis was doing The Authority, which came out of Stormwatch. Warren Ellis, buddy, if you want to pick up on Warren Ellis, start at his Stormwatch.
Okay.
This is great superhero comics set in that Image universe. Not necessarily hyper violent, but Warren is really smart, and he was tighter then. You get some good stories, and really a love of superhero comics. He just invents the most plausible superheroes. Here's your power. Here's your code name. Boom, and it's like cannon fodder, like stuff like that. It's just I love Warren Ellis back then. Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Nick Weiser. Aaron's better with creator-owned. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Southern Bastards was really good, wasn't it, back in the day? Oh, there you go. He's talking about it. Yeah, Southern Bastards.
Shame he never finished it.
Yes. That's a problem with independence sometimes. Where are we?
In Eclipse, and Nosferatu's got a good one. Like during an eclipse, you could fuck up Superman. Like that's great. Yeah, because darkness's power is based upon shadow, or lack of light. That's good.
Davina's saying, I thought the art in Darkness was better than the writing. Silvestri and Benitez were the artists, I think, with some writing by Garth Ennis. No way. Garth Ennis, I don't like superheroes, Garth Ennis, but he's a great war comic writer. I'll say that.
Yeah, but that's someone that's like, he's good at his job because he doesn't like superheroes. That's why he's so good at it.
I loved his Hellblazer run. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day.
Guinness, remember Brendan, the best friend, and he had his wish was the never-ending thing of Guinness, but he drank himself to death, and that was also and Kit, the girlfriend. That was a fucking good fucking Hellblazer. Remember those? And
it's his first story arc where John finds out he's got lung cancer.
Oh god!
Dangerous Habits. That's a cracker.
Out my lungs into my sink.
That's a cracker,
mate.
Fuck. Yeah, Planetary from Warren Ellis. Nick Weiser shouting out as well.
It's good. That's a superheroes comic book. It's great because that's a flawless 27 issues, maybe 28 if you include like Batman Night on Earth.
Fearmonic, I just got 8 to 9 issues of Planetary, the dollar bin, the other weekend. I'm creeping up on my full run. Nice one, man.
Oh, good.
That's awesome.
That is some good stuff.
Joseph Wolf still here. Oh, mate, I love the new issue of TMNT. Me too. I dropped a review of it. I thought the art was awesome, really, really. But I don't know the characters that well. I will start out. I was more of a Usagi Yojimbo man myself. Okay, Eric, I'm going to pass it over to you. Is it time for some picks of the week?
This is my pick of the week. Is Sacrificers 14
it's so good. I just read it before the stream.
Beautiful
book. Good.
This is a beautiful book. Max Fiumara is back on the book.
Yes.
But Dave the other guy too is really good. But this is the way it should look. And
show some of the art. That'd be awesome.
The colors are popping, and it's just here we have our second band of sacrifices, and we have what's the Moon Girl's name again? Jeez, I keep there's so many characters, so many books I read.
Something like Soluna, is it Soluna?
Yeah, and by the end of it, you know what I mean. No, I don't want to show you the last page. No, that would be cruel.
no, it's awesome.
But she's
a great story
within her, and as a power. So her story is parallel to Pigeon's story.
Yeah,
and it's just wonderful. From privilege comes your low life, and from low life comes your privilege. It's great balance. It's such a well thought out story. But also,
anybody out there who's looking for some good like fantasy, kind of pulpy fantasy, but with a really like deep and emotional story, do check it out. The Sacrifices. I don't know how well it's doing, Eric. I hope it's selling, but I don't think.
Yeah, well, the first two trade paperbacks are out, and they go for it. I saw the second trade paperback on the new release shelf. Yeah, Sacrificers is 10 out of 10. My local comic book shop was having a sale, 30% off of everything on the shelf, not excluding new releases. And so I had my eye on this for a while. It's a little pricey. It's pricey for what it is, but with the 30% off, it was at the right price on last Wednesday. So this is Star Wars.
Oh, let's have a look.
The newspaper strips, Volume 2.
Oh, nice.
Goes for $40. So with 30% off, it was $28. I have Volume 1 of this. Now, for between 1977 and 1981, there was a Sunday newspaper, Star Wars. And a lot of it was written by Archie Goodwin, who was a Golden Age, Silver Age legend. And he was also the editor of Marvel Comics before Jim Shooter. So Archie Goodwin was one of the editors of Marvel Comics in the 70s. And so this kind of reformats it doesn't do it justice a bit, because what I wanted was more of like an old Calvin and Hobbes book. Like you have the 3 panels, you know what I mean? Or you have the layout. If it kept the layout of the Sunday pages, I would have been a lot more happier. But these are in the early 90s, Dark Horse took all the newspaper material, reformatted them to a comic page, and then published a floppy called Classic Star Wars. And but it's the newspaper's story. It is not the Marvel Comics story. And like all the Marvel comics from like issues like 1 to 50 that led up to Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah, they're collected too, aren't they, in Epic Collections? Eric, sorry, could you show the art one more time? I'll make it full screen. I've seen this somewhere, the newspaper strips, and I can't remember it. I think I used to have a... Yeah. Yes.
And it's decent because Al Williamson's doing the art on this too.
That's it. That's where I know the name from. Yeah.
Everything is referenced. You can tell when you know your Star Wars well enough. You can just.
It looks great in black and white as well, doesn't it? The original, I think, were in black and white in the newspapers.
Yeah. Well, the Sunday ones were in color.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
but everything is kind of based on the action figures. I mean, that was definitely the photo reference for all the vehicles, the familiar stuff.
That looks awesome.
Like
Williamson's art.
Like the first appearance of the TIE bomber I saw this in the newspaper before I saw it in Empire Strikes Back. And the last page. Oh, this gets so many credits at the end. The last page will lead you right into Empire Strikes Back.
Oh, cool.
Now let's go meet Leia on Hoth. That kind of story note. And that's that. Hey, Hojo, how you doing?
Does Sully have an issue of Bosk and his adventures? Asks Nosferatu.
No, I don't. But I do have that issue with Wedge Antilles and his survivor tale on Hoth. This is great.
Oh, wow.
This is what became of Wedge after the Battle of Hoth. He was stranded on Hoth with his tail gunner Janson.
Oh, right.
And
what happened to him?
He got off the planet because pirates eventually came to salvage and scavenge the rebel base for parts and batteries and shit, you know. And he got into a fight with them. He had to fight for survival, so he had to kill the pirates and then, escape. And then because Luke and Han, they find this like empty freighter, and they find a voice message from Wedge on there. But where's Wedge? Wedge is outside the ship in a spacesuit fixing something. So he comes in. He's like, "Luke, you're here. You saved me."
Yeah, Nosferatu. What about a Porkins miniseries? That would be pretty awesome.
Just a few more seconds.
Get some water. Ooh.
Exactly.
This has been awesome so far, folks. Really great to see everyone in the chat. Really appreciate you jumping in. It's the Sully magic and the early start that's done it, I think.
Well, we got one thing that Gray and I were talking about. Sorry for the noise of the paper.
No, you're good.
The paper bag.
Oh my God,
here it comes. Let's just set something up real quick. Gray and I are big fans. Gray and I are big fans of Blade Runner, the movie by Ridley Scott, the 1982 movie that was based upon Philip K. Dick's Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep. And we've been talking about, for a couple of years now, about doing a show about it. And we just what it's like to get, we'll get to it one day. But guess what? We're going to get to we get to a little bit of it tonight, though, which is great, because while I was at my comic book shop, there was the $5 box of 70s and 80s Bronze Age titles. And this leapt out at me, and I don't have this. Marvel Comics did adaptations of big movies in the 1980s. Last Starfighter, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars itself, Buckaroo Banzai, Dune, David Lynch's Dune with art by Bill Sienkiewicz. You know? And and they were either. Oh shit! Sorry, that's my alarm.
Good morning, everybody. Time to wake up.
But it's
Sully, are you going to get the Star Wars issue 1 facsimile coming up? Ask Fiumara.
Maybe. That sounds like a good idea. I would. Sure, why not? I don't have dude. An issue 1, a reader copy is that's.
That'd be nice. Hey, Miss Martin, how you doing?
Hey, Miss Martin, good to see you. But this leapt off. This is a 2-issue Marvel Comics adaptation.
Blade Runner.
And
here we go. I'm going to make you solo, Eric. Going to make you big.
Boom. Didn't that just leap off the shelf at me at this scene? This pivotal scene.
It's awesome.
Look at that cover. Now, this too has Ali Williamson art, and he inked most of his own stuff. And this kit was for $5. This was a 1982 Marvel comic, a 60-center. It's a reader copy. So this is my favorite thing about reader copies.
That's when the movie came out, by the way.
Yeah. Look at what's on the back of this floppy. Lego. Look, Lego's been around for years. And only almost in the 2000s did Lego start getting these huge licensing deals with our favorite IPs like Star Trek, Star Wars, Doctor Who, Harry Potter, Marvel Comics, all that stuff. You know what I mean? That's recent. But Lego has been practical and been around for years. But I mean, look at this. We open up the comic book at Leon about to kill Deckard. You know what I mean? Look at that. And then what happens?
How long do I live? More than you.
More than you. Then boom, Rachel's behind Leon and takes Leon out. But I'm just like, look, this is just great stuff. But the thing, here is, I think we get a different narration in the caption too. So it's
no way.
Yeah, it's not the same narration.
That's awesome.
This is what's in the book. Yeah, I mean, oh, here comes. Let's. Oh boy, this is. Look at the color. We talk about Everqueer and all those purples. Like that magenta color just started being used in the early '80s, and that's like in everything. Oh, here we go. I got that page from. This is the center of the book. This is a huge splash page, which has 2 panels in it. We have the elevator ride. Here, we have that famous scene that you just showed as well. Look at that.
That's my home screen on the PC.
Oh man, yeah. And this is where the staples are. In the middle, the exact center of the book. And then we have J.F. Sebastian and Roy Batty. And they're talking about the chess game.
Yeah, Nosferatu. I'm not a comic book guy, but I desperately want this comic.
Yes.
Holy shit, this rules.
It's 2 issues. But here's the thing. I only figured this out because Gray and I, we love this movie. We love this story.
We sure do.
Such a robust, avenue from original novel, its interpretation and its adaptation to the silver screen with Ridley Scott, and then the conversation about Blade Runner after that fact. If you're a Blade Runner fan, you should check out and get your own copy of Future Noir, The Making of, 2nd edition, because it includes
it's really
2049.
Good. Great book.
But this is the Rutger Hauer autobiography, and 3 chapters he dedicates to Blade Runner. And in one of these, because it kind of dispels the notion of, is Deckard a replicant? Rutger Hauer kind of pish-poshes it. He's like, it would have been just an effing puppet show if that was the case. And it says that wasn't really evident to me. But also, he's describing the scene. He's describing this very scene right here. And he's like, and as Harry's falling, you know what I mean? Like Harrison had to make this jump too. I mean, like, they had the jump, and he kind of hurt himself doing it. So with the stunts, because they were doing their own stunts.
It looks like it does as well on the screen, doesn't it? It looks painful.
Yeah, and so right when Deckard loses his grip and he's falling, and that second between Batty catching him, and Rutger Hauer's like, and then Harrison spits in my face, and then I grab him and I save him, and I was like, what?
Spits in your face.
What? Really? What are you talking about? Now you will never unsee that. Every time you watch Blade Runner from now on, you are going to notice that Harrison Ford, his last act before he falls to his death, is spits in his murderer's face and changes the context. Batty is so overwhelmed with admiration for this little thing that's his last act is so defiant. And he just grabs him and he's looking at him in wonder and awe, and he saves his life. And that's where, geez, there you go. But you blink and you miss it. You literally, I've been watching this movie all my life.
Are you sure it's not because of the rain? Or the rain's pouring down on him and he just blowing some rain out of him?
You'll see it now. Next time you watch
okay.
Runner, you are going to see,
Fiumara saying, it's ruined now, Eric. You've ruined the movie for me.
No way, man.
No, we're joking.
Spoilers!
Nosferatu, for all Rutger Hauer fans, please play the horror game The Observer. It's one of his last projects. Okay. He plays a cyberpunk detective. Oh.
Rutger Hauer also plays the vampire in a TV version of Salem's Lot. Yeah, I've never seen that.
Yeah. The movie really showed the religious comparisons with a nail through Batty's hand helping Deckard up, saving him and valuing life.
And that was that scene was edited from the initial U.S. release and was put back in for the international release. And we know is the Criterion version that was released on home video. It was one of the first Criterion movies. Here you go, movie collectors, cinemaphiles. Here's your, extended cut. It was one of the first extended cuts. Yeah. So yeah, there we go. A little bit of Blade Runner.
That's awesome. You're getting that. So issue 2. Are you going to try and get issue 1?
2. Yeah, I'm going to try to get issue 1. Yeah, and they're both going on the spinner rack because they're of that same age. All these comics I got are from like 19 from the 80s. Look at this. What if Wolverine had killed the Hulk? Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's a great. Oh man, Eric. It's great to get positive talk about comics. This is why people tune into us. I know positivity doesn't sell, they say, but I don't care. I'd rather be positive.
Exactly. I think we're united by our outrage culture that brought us all together. But then after, FNT's on right now. That's what we were saying that earlier. But we're not in competition with that FNT because we're doing our own thing. And look, everyone showed up, and we're just talking about comics. And just I love FNT, but I also kind of hit the wall with it too. And I come back, and then I leave, and I come back.
I'm the same as you, yeah. But as you say, that's a good point. It did bring a lot of us together. I found a lot of my current YouTube buddies, via FNT, and I was there back when it first started. Believe it or not, I remember when it was just like 6 people on it, and you could hear people.
Yeah, and it got better. I started watching, I think, in 2019, around The Last Jedi. No. Was it 2018, 2019? Around there. It was like definitely before Rise of Skywalker came out at the end of 2019.
Oh, yeah, it was well before that. It was when the Game of Thrones, that crazy, awful episode, where you couldn't see shit, that big battle. I remember that, when it kind of all came together.
And back when Tom Connor Jr. used to be on the show, remember that?
Yeah.
I liked it then, yeah. I think, when Chrissy came on, that was like when I think it peaked.
Davina's got a point here, Eric. It's hard to watch these days. A lot of shouting and the endless super chat reading, and all the commercials now. He's reading out sponsorships and stuff.
Oh, really?
Because it's about the money, isn't it?
Well, because FNT taught me a lot about donating super chats to a big show, because I know they try. You have to do something. There has to be some kind of compromise. Because chances are you're not getting your super chat read. Then Gary does a catch-up show later on in the week. And sometimes you make these super chats in the heat of the moment to be part of the ongoing conversation. And then it doesn't get read in context, so they don't need it. I'd rather give super chats to the smaller channels. Like, here, if you want to send a super chat, we'll read it right away. Yeah. No,
here we go. All together now. In it for the money. We're in it for the money. No, I'm joking.
It comes down to the personalities and then the guest. I love Gary, but
I'd rather watch him solo. To be honest,
I can't watch Az anymore. I can't
watch him anymore now. Sorry, Az. I know you're a Brit, but
I love
all
him.
the screaming and shouting, it just makes me get.
I used to watch Az play Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, and it was for hours. I would love, because it was fun, and I got into Witcher because of him.
Big battle where you can't see shit. We're doing a review of the second part of Endgame.
When Jon Snow just gives up and just yells at his former dragon, his zombie dragon. Remember that? He just comes up and he was about to have a suicide by dragon. That was, and then Arya in the glade there. Jeez.
Yeah, I think Gary seems to be pretty like the same guy. I know.
Okay.
I hear you, Davina. I hear you.
I'm sharing this with the gang right here, right now. I'm doing it.
What?
My Game of Thrones prediction that should have come true.
Go for it.
Theon should have won the Game of Thrones. The eunuch king. And then the 99 bastards of Theon Greyjoy from all the chicks he knocked up before he got his dick cut off. All come to King's Landing, and they all look just like him, but they have different skin tones and different hairs and different, you know what I mean? But literally 99 bastard sons of Theon Greyjoy show up to King's Landing to be the princes of the eunuch king who is won the Game of Thrones. That is how I would have ended it. Well, what about you, Greg?
What are you doing, Zax? What are you doing? I will
Holy
get that.
Shit! Super chat!
Eric, look what you've done. Yes. Yeah, but Arya killed the Night King is not so cool. That was crazy. Crazy. Zax, you naughty boy. You are a member of the channel like Eric is, so that is enough support. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.
Launch, man. Thank you.
Oh my god. The question is, do I have another Excalibur clip? Because it's one of Zax's favourite movies as well, Eric. We share that. Excalibur. I do have it. It's a completely bonkers clip. Are you ready? Are you ready for some dancing?
Gabriel Byrne.
Gabriel Byrne.
This is one of his first big movies. One of my favorite things is this is one of Liam Neeson's first big movies. He played Gawain. Was he Gawain?
Liam Neeson played Gawain. Yes, you're right. Patrick Stewart's in there, of course. We talked about that before. If a boy is to be king.
Yeah. Leon deGrasse. Guinevere's father. Yeah. And
Helen Mirren is Morgana.
Yeah, but
God.
Liam Neeson met Helen Mirren on the set of this movie. They they were in an interview recently. It was like, oh yeah, we dated. It was like, dated? We lived together for 5 years.
By the way, Eric, this quote from Zax: "Never forget your SHIKO roots." Now, this is not a rude word. What a SHIKO is, if you've seen the Netflix sumo drama called Sanctuary, it's part of the sumo wrestlers' training. It's basically the horse stance, if you know the horse stance, yeah. So they do that kind of thing. Yeah, come on, let's try and do it. I've got to take my headphones off, Eric, so you have to vamp for me, but here we go. Well, I'll do it. I'm going to do it live, on screen. I've not done it for a long time.
As Greg,
I'll do anything for $10.
He assumes the position of the sumo wrestler.
So you come up here.
And he's imagining he's in some swaddled in some white cotton that's embracing his nether regions.
Down we go.
He needs to ceremonial sprinkle some salt in front of him and on his hands. He's going to throw the salt in front of him and grind his bare feet into the salt, into the mat. He's going to grab his thighs now, and he's going to salute his opponent.
Maybe I can reach the headphones from here. Maybe they'll reach. Yes, they will.
And as he salutes his opponent,
I'm not having a poo, by the way. I'm doing a horse dance.
He consecrates the mat in front of him with salt, the gift of the sea, and he grinds his bare feet into the mat, and to get traction as he advances upon.
You hurt your madman.
This is what he wanted. This is what he signed up for, man.
In the background, can you see that, folks?
Great. You might prolapse. You watch out, man. There's something slip out. Oh, wait, you were at a certain age. Have to flee the circle. That's right.
It's a rare look at Gray's streaming room. It's the living room.
Look at this. We're getting.
Where are we?
There's the kitchen.
Ooh.
That's good, actually. Ooh, wee. BRB. I gotta pee. Be right back.
Oh, thanks for that, folks. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Anyway, thank you, Zach. I really appreciate it, man. Where are we? We got some subs. Let's hit that PS3 goal. Be right back, Sarah. No problem, Eric. You're good. Mamma mia. Can you hear me, by the way? I can't remember if I'm muted or not. No, I'm good. Okay. Gray shows the garden lab. No, I can't do that. I would show you the garden though. It's covered in snow. And speaking of that, let's see if I can get this up. That was a room tour. Looked terrible. I filmed this like a fool driving back yesterday, back from work, partway up the mountain. See if it will show up. Where are we?
Ooh.
Look at that. There we go.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
It's snow. If it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. All right? We have a rule here at the house.
Purple Valkyrie saying Grey is positively balletic.
Exactly. Oof. Sorry, I almost wet myself. I had to go.
You're okay, Eric. That's what you get for drinking a pint and a half of Guinness on me stream.
Here's my third pint of Guinness. We're going to put it in my mouth. And first I'm going to put it in my pint glass. And then I'm going to put it in my mouth. And then I'm going to put it in the toilet bowl. And then I'm going to run out to the bog. As the fellers say. Slide fuckers.
I don't know anything.
There we go.
Patrick Stewart. Was that from his Christmas Carol?
Yes, it was. There's a bizarre clip I've got of him where he starts to laugh, but because he's Scrooge and he's never laughed for years, it sounds like he's dying of a really bad cough.
Have you ever seen Jeffrey? It's a gay movie from the 90s.
No, I haven't. I remember he was doing that as a stage play because it used to be advertised in Star Trek: The Next Generation videos I used to buy back in the day.
It's a pretty good movie, and he bases his entire character off his best friend, Ian McKellen. So he plays this outrageously gay dude that he's like his boyfriend is in Cats. They live in New York City. But he's like, "Oh my, we have to get to the park immediately. Batteries in the hot pants.
You shall not pass."
I need to see Life Force. I haven't seen Life Force in ages, man.
Do you know Roman of the Empire on YouTube?
I do. I know him from our circles.
He was doing a stream when it wasn't the other night. I always miss these streams, Eric, because I'm working when most people are streaming in the evening, apart from weekends. Tell me about it. So how are we doing, folks? We've been going for 1 hour and 18 minutes.
So far.
My streams don't go on for too long, just to let you know. This has been amazing. We've had a lot of people watching. We've had over 70 different people have popped in to have a look so far. That's great. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone. This has been fun. Can you hear the train?
Can you hear the bells, Fernando? Oh god, Eric, actually, just to be serious for a minute, I do have a bit of comic book news, if it's okay. Let's just cover this briefly. Let's cover this article. Oh, an article. And before that, Nosferatu saying, 24-hour stream. Let's go.
Yeah.
I just made my first drink. Oh, by the way, Eric, you've made Nosferatu want to go to the store and buy a pint of Guinness, a can of Guinness because of you. Your salesmanship.
Those are 8s.
Absolutely fantastic.
Hey, cardstock variant.
That's
a great name.
How are you doing?
I love the variety of names that are out there.
Me too.
Yeah.
Okay, Eric, to set this up, did you read The Boy Wonder, the miniseries? It was written and drawn by Juni Barr.
I've read most of it.
Okay.
I bought the first issue. I read the first 3 issues. I kind of got tired of it very quickly, although same thing with Ultimate X-Men. I appreciate and respect the trade, the art, the panels, with the attempt, but it was a miss.
I liked his writing. I like the way he wrote the different Robins. I thought he did a really good job, even though people say they don't like the art. But this is about, here we go. Image preview, Monkey Meat. This is from Nosferatu. The Summer Batch, issue 1.
More Juni Barr?
Yes, it's by Juni Barr. The anthology is back for a 5 new issues from the creator of The Boy Wonder. Going on vacation? How about a hellish African fantasy island run by a corporation selling cans of monkey meat? What? Nice. Anyway, let's have a look. Its release date is March the 5th. It's from Image. Number 1 comes out. Your face here. The tasty anthology is back, now with 2 stories per issue. And games. Sounds good to me. Just have a look at some of the art, give people an idea what it's about, his style. It's very simplistic, isn't it? I like this.
It's because it's detailed in all the right places.
Hand-drawn letters, Eric. Hand-drawn letters.
You know I love hand-drawn onomatopoeia. The sound effects in a comic book. Thump! Snicked. Thwip. Pow!
Cry.
I love... Because this is a good example of a hand-drawn onomatopoeia. Now, when you look at your usual monthly Marvel book, the sound effects, they're cut and pasted. They're dropped and dragged. They all look the same. This takes some artistic talent. This takes the artist making space for that. Now,
these are drawn, aren't they? These are hand-drawn, aren't they?
These are hand-drawn.
I'm sure.
And I want to say, Gray and I have read every. I think, unless you put it down, I think you said you just did shit. Amazing Spider-Man by Zeb Wells, but specifically the issues with John Romita Jr.'s and Scott Hanna's art. What took away from that was the lettering, was the onomatopoeia, because it was just dropped and dragged and indiscriminately put on top of Romita's art. I think it would have been because it saves the artist time and effort if they're told, oh, don't worry about the sound effects. We'll take care of that in post-production and coloring. Look at that whoosh.
That's awesome.
And then that's just part of the art. Because the artist's hand made that happen.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's so old school. That's Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age, Copper Age, and most of the Modern Age. And that started breaking away in the 2000s with, with Richard Starking and visual calligraphy, and and Comicraft, and VC, and just
This is what he's got to say about it, just briefly. Here we go. I've needed this. Monkey meat is where I get to have fun, says Juni Barr. Shed the corporate expectations and rules and conceive comics that are cartoonish, experimental, and infectious. Hopefully they are as enjoyable to read as they are to draw, says Barr. That's it, pretty much. It's just a kind of a bonkers, fun, weird, experimental comic.
It's great because he's African. He's from Senegal. And his intro into comics was later in his late teens.
Okay.
And he got introduced through bande dessinées from France and the French tradition.
Awesome. Oh yeah.
And then he got into DC Comics, and so his interpretation of Damian Wayne's journey and story is English as a third language after coming through French, and then coming to DC Comics and characters in his late teens, early 20s. And I think Damian Wayne's a great character, especially in the hands of a good writer. And when he's young, the younger Damian is, the better he is, because it's an absurdity to having a 10-year-old assassin. And he's Batman's son. And he's on a redemption arc. I mean, that's something, dude, that's fun. That's escapism.
Yes.
It's true all right there. Like, he's 10 years old. He needs redemption.
Fairmonic, there's an annual for the old series of TMNT from IDW, and it was a cracker, as Gray would call it. That looked as fun to read as it had to be for him to draw. Okay, nice one. I'm only just getting into TMNT, Eric. As I say, I was always a rabbit man, Usagi Ojimbo. I never got into them.
I would suggest to you the earlier the better, because I turned on to TMNT in middle school. About issue 12 to 15, right before something called Return to New York, which for me was mind blowing, because it was like we just started getting introduced to manga around that time, and you know, they tried to blow it up a bit and put it in floppies, but then they figured out Tankobon works best. So American manga, that is Mirage's TMNT, Eastman and Laird's original brand. Before they even, I mean, that's the first 20-ish, the first 24
before they got
issues.
big.
Yeah, that's about the time that the cartoon happened. But I mean, there's the one, there's one right before Return to New York. It's Michelangelo. He's having a dream, Mikey. He's having a dream. He's in feudal Japan, and he saves the girl, and he's got to fight the dragon. Good. And it's the art, and it's just so delicious, and it's just so good.
Mikey.
Oh, and then he wakes up at the end of it. It's like Little Nemo in Slumberland. At the end of it, he just wakes up. If you don't know, Little Nemo in Slumberland was one of the first from the late 1800s, early 1900s, and it had this fantastic adventure, and then it always ended with Nemo waking up in his bed in some kind of like weird kind of like sleeping position.
Okay, Fairmont is saying, oh shit, yeah, that's 15. I think it's issue 15, and it's insane.
Yeah,
it sounds very cool.
You. Yes, thank you for remembering. Yeah, and the earlier the better. You can get them collected, you can get them easy digitally, but those first 24 issues, when it gets to Rick Veitch's Sky Highway, that's when it goes off the reservation and the rails, in my humble opinion. And that's why Last Ronin worked for me, because it follows Mirage continuity, not the newer and 10 to 15-year-old IDW continuity. All right, which is a completely different. It's Splinter's different. The boys are different. I mean, yeah, those are two different. That's multiverse.
Joseph was saying the first thing I saw Juni Bar in was some TMNT miniseries, but Boy Wonder was my favourite thing from him so far. Okay, nice one. Excuse me. Okay, it was 17, was it? Nice one, Firm on it. Thanks. I'll have a quick look. I'll see if I can bring it up. It sounds very intriguing, that one. So it's volume 1, isn't it, Eric? It'll be volume 1.
Mirage Studios,
issue 17.
TMNT, Kevin Eastman and Mike Laird. Yeah, it's good stuff. Because Return to New York.
Gotcha.
They come back to New York after being beaten by the Hand. They're hiding out in northern Massachusetts, and they come back to Manhattan to face, what's going on. Because Raphael leaves the farm that they're convalescing in, and he gets his ass kicked. You know what I mean? Oh!
Is this the art? Is this it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, looks awesome. Whoa.
Is that Silvestri? Who the hell did they had a guest artist on that?
Oh, it doesn't say. Oh no, it doesn't say. Never mind. Oh my goodness. That looks so cool. Look at that cover. Here we go. Writers Kevin Eastman and Eric Talbot. Penciler Eric Talbot. Inking Eric Talbot.
Okay. Yeah.
November 1988. Wow.
Wow, I was 15, man.
Oh, yeah. That looks cool, Eric.
Dude, that's it. That's a great single. It's standalone. It's a wonderful issue. It's so well drawn. And this was prime Turtles for me. And because you also had the knockoffs. Like, radioactive black belt hamsters. And
I remember that.
You had all these like Miami mice, like shit like that. You had like these weird anthropomorphic just characters that were clearly Turtles ripoffs.
Here we go. I can't make it any bigger. Ladies, that's as big as it gets without getting blurry, but that gives us an idea of the art. I see. Yeah, that looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Ah. Wow.
This is some good stuff, yeah.
Issue 17. Okay, nice one. Thanks for that. That's brilliant.
Yeah, so yeah, there you go. I mean, but it doesn't get any better than that, I don't think. It really doesn't. And I think it peaks early in Image, in Mirage Studios, because then because comics turtles were never cartoon turtles, which were, and what was great was the movie, 1990 movie, which was Jim Henson's last movie that he ever worked on. That's why the expressions on those faces and why the suits worked so well. Corey Feldman was in that suit.
No way, really?
Yeah, or I think so. I'm pretty darn sure. All four actors were on set and in those suits. That was with them doing their things, and then they had close-ups with remote controls, doing the faces and stuff. I mean,
well, Fearmonix saying it's one of the ones I'm still hunting for myself. I want to get a nice, crispy copy. That sounds cool. Listen, Eric, we'll wrap things up shortly. Before we do, can you give a recommendation from the latest, like this week of comics? I'm really behind, mate. I've not read much apart from Sacrifices, which I loved. It's a great issue of Sacrifices. What would you shout out from this week?
Not from. I don't have. Well, this week it's Sacrifices. Okay. I only had 2 books on my pull list this week.
Yeah.
Because I not only do I get my pull list, I go to the new release shelf, and I peruse the big 2 and all the indies. So it's like that's what I came home with, 2 floppies this week.
Gotcha.
Absolute Superman, which I think I'm putting down. I should maybe I'll give it one more issue since I'm on that fence. I'm on the fence, dude. But I felt this way about Ultimate Spider-Man about a couple issues ago.
I was the same. I dropped it.
Really
and then I picked it back up.
Yeah, I didn't. I never dropped it, and that's okay. I was like, okay, this book is actually. I think I got a feel for it. Maybe I got to get a feel for this book too. All right.
Are you okay there, Rick? Are you fighting the hiccups there? I think you.
I was fighting the hiccup. You got that right. You nailed it. But Green Lantern. Jeremy Adams is just so good, and it's melodramatic. And it has soapy beats in it, like we used to get in the 90s. Like, it has a big thing about romance.
It's fun. Yeah, it's romantic. It's got romance in it. Can you believe it? And I like the art. I like this style.
Are you sure you're not annoyed because Hal is happy Batman? And that's coming from Hal.
Is it Zamanico or not Zamanico? Zamanico with this one?
This one's with Passerin. Passerin comes back for an issue.
Okay, gotcha, yeah.
Fernando Passerin.
Zamanico's art has been amazing. However you say his name, I don't know, but yeah. The regular artist is stunning. It's really sci-fi epic.
Here we go. That they're getting it, they're having, a little bit of fun, you know what I mean? And it's just Carol Ferris has been...
Making whoopee.
Has been the Star Sapphire since the Silver Age. This has been like a really good. I mean, like Jeremy Adams did so well with Linda Park and Wally West and their kids and his run. So I mean, people like the soapy moments. People like romance. It just doesn't have to be what it's everything about it. Except then you come for this page where you get this complete Connor Kent.
Let's make you big.
That's Connor Kent, Connell, the Superboy. You know what I mean?
Showing off his 6-pack, ladies.
But then you have a girl like really into him. So it's like, who's this for? Well, you know what I mean? Maybe it's for thirsty chicks. Jeremy Adams worked on Green Lantern, the animated series. So he brings in the element of the starship. I mean, the Green Lantern.
So he knows the characters, through that.
Yeah, I even asked him on Twitter. I got to meet him at Fan Expo Boston last year. And he was like, I was like, hi, I'm Eric O'Sullivan. He was like, Eric, I remember you from Twitter. How are you? I'm like, awesome, dude. And so I went all weekend. So I dropped by his table once, all 3 days. he was sitting right next to Peter Tomasi. I was like, dude, I love Green Lantern Corps. That was fun. And yeah, Green Lantern. It's like if you're not into Green Lantern, and now is the best time.
It's got me. It's got me to start reading it because I've told you before. I never got into the character. I don't know why. Never got into him.
Green Lantern's fun. I mean, I can tell you a bunch of Green Lantern books to get into. That's not just Jeff Johns.
People say Jeff Johns. Yeah, you've got to read Jeff Johns.
Everyone's telling you Jeff Johns, but I'm going to tell you so some of the anything with Daryl Banks on art. It's like Ron Mars. Judd Winnick, they did such a great job in the early aughts. This is the Kyle Rayner years too. I thought I had no problems with Kyle Rayner. He's fine. I mean, great. He was the only Green Lantern for like 10 years or so. That was the whole thing. They
10 years, man.
Yeah, but Wally was the Flash at the time, so it was like. That was the time DC Publishing. It was what was it? Oh Christ! So many names. It was before Dan DiDio at DC, and where the legacy characters came into prominence. So Wally was the Flash of the JLA. Kyle was, the Green Lantern, and so on.
Dan DiDio, but did he though? That's the question. Did he though? Okay, Eric, this has been fantastic. We'll wrap things up. I just want to share this. I've not read it yet, but one I'm looking forward to reading
What are you? Yeah.
The Rocket Fellas, issue 3 came out. I've not read it yet. I'm looking forward to it. I love this character design here. I forget her name. She's some kind of bounty hunter. She's after this family. Great character. There's some lovely covers here as well. Rocket Fellas, come on. Yeah. But yeah, as Fairmont was saying, Eric, it's a quiet week. It's a small week, not a lot of releases.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, like I love JSA stories. I like Jeff Lemire a lot, but my favorite Jeff Lemire is when he's drawing his own shit. There's a lot of comics I haven't read this week yet. I haven't gotten to Dennis Camp's Ultimates #9 yet. That's going to be fun because it's a great issue to make fun of. It's all about academic postmodernism and activism. And
the prison system.
And why it shouldn't belong in comics. Let's see. You got Avengers 23. Jed McKay is doing... I think he's doing a decent job. He's all over the place at Marvel. The art on Avengers right now is amazing.
Oh, is it? Is it good?
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. This guy, what's his name? Khalid? You can click on Avengers 23.
Yeah, let's have a look. Here we go. Avengers issue 23.
On this is just amazing. Yeah.
Farid Karami.
He's Even Wes said on Twitter, it was like, this story's kind of meh, but the art is so good. So this is a great example of how great art can elevate a mediocre story.
Haven't been reading it, so
that can happen.
No idea. Okay, gotcha. Go back. I did do a review of Batman because it was the last issue of Chip Zdarsky's run.
I was watching that, and
it wasn't too bad actually. It was all right, but I didn't really enjoy his run overall. How about you?
I didn't know, but you're talking to the one guy that got made fun of because I actually liked Batman Falling to Earth. He's watched Superman do it so many times. He had a plan for it. I mean, he's Batman. He's got a plan for everything.
He's the Bat God.
I could wrap my head around that and accept that. I didn't. Of course, Batman could not only get down from orbit but land anywhere he wanted to. That doesn't broach my suspension of disbelief.
Okay, interesting. Joseph Wolf is saying the same artist, Eric. He did the art on one of those Michelini Venom flashback books, and the art was amazing.
The art in this is amazing. So it's like you can check. I mean, and then you got Batman Off-World #6, but there you go. That's Jason Aaron, but it's also some Doug Mankey art. This is the one with Punchbot, but this thing has been delayed for 4 months.
The last issue was the end of August. I checked it. It's
really?
Crazy.
Oh my gosh. That's
a great cover, by the way. Dude, I like Dan Morris too, but I've not read it. I say I haven't got any review copies this week, so I'm behind. Look at that.
Beautiful. I mean, one thing I wanted to see, okay, this is what I wanted to see, that the failsafe for failsafe was that failsafe was built on PunchBot's chassis. And that PunchBot is still, it was the failsafe.
That's awesome.
Failsafe.
That's a cool idea.
Oh, dude, like welcome back, PunchBot. Thank you, Batman.
It's got overwhelmingly positive reviews, but this is League of Comic Book Geeks, where they do tend to be pretty positive. But yeah, I've not read it yet. But are you going to check it out, Eric? Off-world? No.
Well, if it's in the pirate chest, then yes.
Okay,
gotcha. I will read everything in my pirate chest.
Sacrifices, that was my shout out, and yours too. Issue 14, definitely pick that up. Rocket Fellas, I've not read yet, but I want to get that. Cruel Kingdom issue 2 looks pretty good. It's supposed to be better than issue 1. It's like a bit like the old EC comics, but it's the fantasy version.
Yeah.
Brave Knights, Foreboding Wizards, speaking of Eric Sullivan. Gloriously skull-crushing brutality. Stories by Chris Condon, Corina Becco, and where are we? That's it. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's about it, Eric. I'm going to stop sharing the screen.
Awesome.
Has Sully read Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul?
No, I've only read Chicken Soup for the, I guess, adult soul, I guess.
Just Nosferatu being crazy, as usual. Okay, we'll wrap things up. Eric.
Thank you so much for having me on. I'm going to be on tomorrow, 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern at Wes's Thinking Criticals Comics Aficionados. I'm a permanent member. He asked me literally. He was like, "Do you want to be a permanent member of the show?" And I'm like, "Yes, please, sure." And yeah.
How about you? What about you, Eric? Your streams? Have you got a stream coming up this weekend?
I do.
Let me find your channel.
My channel is at Eric. My name, Eric O'Sullivan.
Share it. Here we go.
Also, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. I'll be at Bandito Baines, Geeks Talking Geek. So come on over to his channel too, and subscribe. He's a growing creator, and he talks the geeky stuff. He does Warhammer 40K. He does gaming, tabletop gaming, video games. So coming by, and he's our friend Juan, and we know him from back in the day. Gray and I are both sometimes on his show at the same time, and it's fun. So yeah,
I really enjoy your comic book streams that you do. For you, I think it's Sunday afternoon. I'm just waking up on Monday morning, getting ready for work, and there you are.
Yeah, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern. So that's going to be 5 a.m. for you. And sometimes, and I see Gray poke his head in about 6 when he's waking up.
Yeah. I usually catch the ends. It's
hey,
great.
How you doing? And so it's always good to see you just pop your head in. And so I have my own show, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, every Sunday, the Super Sully Sunday stream, where I talk pop culture. I talk anything that's on my mind, but it's basically about the comic books that I've read that week and that we should be buying. And it's the big thing about my show, about my comic book show, is how are we going to save comic books? I have an answer. We have to show up at our local comic book shops and spend our money there. We have to get our bags, our boards, our boxes, and, hang out, talk to people. I had a great comic book shop conversation with the person at the checkout counter and a person behind me with that Blade Runner book.
Oh, cool.
We talked about it for 5 minutes, just a bunch of us at the store. So go to your local comic book shop, spend your money there, and keep comics alive.
Great advice.
Thank you.
Dwayne Muth. Dwayne's popped in.
Hey,
He's got
Dwayne!
back from work.
Awesome!
Great to see you, mate. We were talking about you before.
Quinn's in the shop, isn't he? Yes. I called you the Google with shoes because you have an encyclopedic knowledge that surpasses both of us.
The Google Comic Sensei with shoes. That's awesome. Okay, that's awesome. I forgot to drop the end. So again, thanks a million for watching. Do check out Eric's channel. If you're not subscribed, do so. And yeah, hope to see you in a future video. What should we play out with, Eric? Let's play out with some music. Here we go. Matane. Aeon. It's true.